The Young and the Restless spoilers Fridays October 18th. Chance Hastings had always been meticulous in his approach to investigations. As the head of the Genoa City Police Department's homicide unit, his reputation for uncovering the truth was well earned. But the case of Heather Weber's death had thrown him into uncharted waters, leaving him grappling with doubts and suspicions that gnawed at his professional integrity. Daniel Romalotti, Heather's husband, had been the prime suspect from the outset. Their marriage, once filled with promise, had deteriorated into a toxic blend of jealousy, mistrust, and unspoken resentments. Heather's untimely death had left the community in shock, and all eyes had turned to Daniel, the last person seen arguing with her before she was found lifeless in their luxurious home. Chance had known for a while that Daniel held the password to Heather's phone. It was a small detail, but in his line of work, no piece of information was too insignificant. The phone was a crucial piece of evidence, potentially holding the key to unraveling the mystery surrounding Heather's demise. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Chance arranged to access the device, only to be met with a dead end. The password had been changed just days before Heather's death. Frustration mounted as Chance pondered the implications. Someone else had accessed the phone, tampering with the very evidence that could exonerate or condemn Daniel. The timeline didn't add up. How could someone have changed the password without arousing suspicion? As Chance delved deeper, the web of deceit began to tighten around him. Daniel, desperate to prove his innocence, revealed that he had a method to unlock the phone despite the password change. With a mixture of reluctance and hope, Chance handed over the device. Daniel's fingers danced across the screen, his determination evident. Within moments, the phone sprang to life, revealing a flurry of missed calls, unread messages, and, most importantly, a draft message addressed to Paul Williams, a close friend and confidant of Heather. The message was chilling. "Help me," it read. "Daniel has been hurting me. I don't feel safe around him. He's violent, and I don't know how much longer I can take it." Chance's heart pounded as he absorbed the implications. Abuse was a grave accusation, one that could ruin reputations and shatter lives. But something felt off. Daniel had always maintained his innocence, vehemently denying any involvement in Heather's death. The more Chance pondered the situation, the more questions arose. Why would Daniel's messages suggest abuse? And who else could have had access to Heather's phone? As Chance and his team sifted through the digital breadcrumbs, the pieces began to form a disturbing pattern. The calls and messages pointed towards a narrative that didn't quite align with what they knew about Daniel and Heather's relationship. Daniel's protests of innocence rang hollow against the evidence stacked against him. He claimed that Sharon Newman, a cunning and resourceful woman with a history of manipulation, was orchestrating the entire setup. Sharon Newman had long been a formidable presence in Genoa City. With her sharp intellect and strategic mind, she had a knack for bending situations to her advantage. Her ties with Cameron Kirsten, a known schemer, only added to the suspicion. Together, they formed a formidable alliance, capable of weaving intricate webs of deceit. Chance's suspicions about Sharon began to resurface. He recalled past interactions where Sharon had subtly undermined Daniel, always maintaining a veneer of innocence while pushing him towards the brink. The more he thought about it, the more he realized that Sharon had both the motive and the means to manipulate Heather's phone, crafting the perfect alibi for Daniel. Confronting Daniel about the inconsistencies in the evidence, Chance's frustration boiled over. "Daniel, I need you to leave," he declared, his voice heavy with authority. "This place is now a crime scene, and until we get to the bottom of this, you and your daughter need to find somewhere else to stay." Daniel's face twisted in anger and disbelief. "This is all Sharon's doing. She's framing me. She's manipulating everything, she and Cameron. You have to believe me." But Chance remained unmoved. "Right now, what I believe doesn't matter," he said sternly. "What matters is that the phone tells a different story, and it's enough to paint you as the aggressor." With that, Daniel and his daughter, Lucy, were escorted out of their home. The once comforting walls that held memories of happier times were now tainted with suspicion and betrayal. As they moved into a modest hotel, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that his life was spiraling out of control. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and without concrete proof of Sharon's involvement, he was left to face the looming threat of imprisonment.
With that, Daniel and his daughter Lucy were escorted out of their home. The once comforting walls that held memories of happier times were now tainted with suspicion and betrayal. As they moved into a modest hotel, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that his life was spiraling out of control. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and without concrete proof of Sharon's involvement, he was left to face the looming threat of imprisonment. Meanwhile, Chance delved deeper into the case, determined to uncover the truth. He retraced Sharon's movements, analyzing every interaction and transaction she had made leading up to Heather's death. The more he uncovered, the clearer it became that Sharon had orchestrated an elaborate scheme to frame Daniel. From altering the phone's password to manipulating messages and calls, Sharon had meticulously crafted a narrative that would leave Daniel isolated and vulnerable. The turning point came when Chance discovered a series of financial transactions linking Sharon and Cameron to suspicious accounts. Hidden offshore, these accounts were a goldmine of evidence, revealing the depth of Sharon's involvement in the plot against Daniel. It became evident that Sharon's motive extended beyond a mere personal vendetta. There were business interests at stake, and eliminating Daniel was a strategic move to secure her position in the competitive landscape of Genoa City's elite. Armed with this new evidence, Chance approached the district attorney's office, presenting the findings that pointed directly to Sharon. The case against Daniel began to crumble as the truth surfaced, exposing the layers of deceit that had been carefully concealed. Interviews with key witnesses and forensic analysis of the digital evidence further solidified Sharon's culpability, painting a damning picture of her manipulative tactics. Sharon, however, was not one to be easily subdued. As the investigation closed in on her, she employed every trick in the book to evade capture. Her alliance with Cameron provided her with the resources and connections needed to stay one step ahead of the law. But Chance's relentless pursuit left Sharon with dwindling options, forcing her to confront the consequences of her actions. In a dramatic courtroom showdown, the evidence against Sharon was irrefutable. The judge, swayed by the meticulous presentation of facts, sentenced Sharon to a lengthy prison term, ensuring that her reign of manipulation and deceit came to an end. Daniel was exonerated, his name cleared, and he could finally begin to rebuild his life with Lucy by his side. As for Chance, the case served as a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature and the lengths to which individuals would go to protect their interests. While justice was served, the scars left on Daniel and Lucy were a testament to the enduring impact of betrayal and the quest for truth in a world